Welcome back to the channel. Matt Porter, Chief Tasting Officer, Master Blender for Barrel King, here to talk about the October releases for Barrel King Gold members. If you're not a Gold member, but you're interested in becoming one, click on the link in the description below. It'll send you over to the Barrel King website, and you'll have these delicious Barrel King offerings in your hand before you know it. Before I get into tasting these two October releases, if you're in the St. Louis area, or if you're within driving range, or if you're a baller and you got your own PJ and you can fly right in, I'll be at the St. Louis Bourbon Festival at the Barrel King booth this Friday. It'll be my second year attending, and it is a lot of fun. Hopefully I'll see you there. If I do, come give me a hug and a high five and a pat on the ass, because I deserve it. October releases, we have two. Batch 117 is a fantasy collection label, and batch 118 is a straight bourbon whiskey. We'll start with batch 117. It's called Basic Witches. After connecting the dots and realizing how not smart I am sometimes, I realized what this 117 batch is all about, and I think it's super fun, especially for October. America. Batch 117 Basic Witches comes in at 115 proof, and it is a boo rye. Get it? Because it's October. So this is a blend of 4.5 to 8-year 21% MGP bourbon, 12-year high rye MGP bourbon, 8-year 95.5 MGP rye, and 7-year 51% rye MGP rye. But if the process just stopped there, then it wouldn't be a fantasy collection now, would it? This Basic Witch is finished in sea salt caramel espresso barrels and a pumpkin liqueur barrel. The length of time it took me to understand that Basic Witch and pumpkin spice latte season coming together in this fantasy collection label, the amount of time it took for me to grasp that concept and put it together, that was embarrassing. It took me an embarrassingly, I'm stupid. I'm not. There's got a problem with my brain. I totally understand the concept now, and I feel so smart for figuring it out. Going in for a nose on the Basic Witch. Yep. Very first thing I thought of when I smelled this the very first time, and it's still there on the nose, is one of those candy pumpkins. They come in the bags and you pour them into a bowl for your company to eat when they come over, but you don't have any company. So you just eat bags and bags of candy pumpkins throughout the fall, and then you look back on your life and you're like, wow, probably unnecessary. And a little bit of spice is coming out of the glass now too. I didn't pick up on such a pumpkin spice the first time I tried this, but now, yeah. It's almost like the cinnamon and the nutmeg that they would like put on top of your Basic Witch cold foam. Super awesome nose, super unique nose. Friggin' love it. The more I think about a pumpkin spice latte, and then the more I smell this, the more I'm like, whoa, what in the hell? How did they do that? That's what I smell. It smells really good. Batch 117 down the hatch. First sip of whiskey for the day, and wow, that is so good. That is so good. Hell yeah. I've never thought of a fall-themed whiskey that works so magically well. Am I a pumpkin spice latte lover? No. I might dabble, but I'm not a pumpkin spice latte fiend, if you know what I mean. But this is just tremendous. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect when I went into this, and I certainly didn't expect to love it this much. This is a home run. It's fall, it's sweet, it's spice, it's complex, it transitions so well. You're just sitting here and there are waves of different things coming at you. There's cinnamon, there's nutmeg, there's a hint of a spiced pumpkin, and then it's like cream that's so creamy and delicious. It kind of reminds me of like a friggin' whiskey cold foam treat. I'm like actually genuinely confused about how all of these really complex and perfect flavors are just meshing in this whiskey. It does not taste artificial. It's not too sweet. It doesn't leave any sugary aftertaste in your mouth. This will be a Barrel King favorite for years to come. This is what makes Barrel King so fun. I don't mean for these videos to be commercials for non-gold members. These videos are designed for current gold members to know what they're getting themselves into for the month. But I truly believe that the majority of you out there who are still chasing bottles that may or may not be worth your while are missing out on tremendous whiskey if you're not getting your hands on some of these Barrel King offerings. I suggest this. Go to the Barrel King website, sign up, become a gold member for a month, get your first bottle or two of Barrel King. If you don't like it, cancel your membership and never look back. Or if you get your first bottles of Barrel King and you really just dislike them, please message me and let me know, because honestly, I have not heard any negative feedback whatsoever. And I've been doing this for what, 2 years now? 2 years! And nobody has ever been like, dude, Matt, join Barrel King? Big mistake. 0 people. Holy crap, that's good. Let's now get in to batch 118. 118 is a straight bourbon whiskey. Ta-da! 118. Oh man, I got you. Batch 118 comes in at 118.5 proof, and it is a straight bourbon whiskey from a distillery never been used at Barrel King before. Batch 118 is Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, straight from Green River Distilling Co. It's 21% rye bourbon. It's damn near 8 years old, and all of the barrels in this blend came from Green River Rickhouse G. Hence the name of the batch, Batch 118. G-Spot. Remember when I said I had a difficult time connecting the dots with the basic witches and like the pumpkin spice concept on batch 117? I did not have the same issue connecting the dots between Rickhouse G and the name G-Spot. From what I understand, Rickhouse G at Green River produces some really special barrels, but you gotta find them. Unfortunately, I've never visited Green River, so I've never stepped foot in Rickhouse G. However, when it comes to the name G-Spot, the connection between the barrels and the name, it's funny because but then once in a while, some of that's probably not even usable. Considering this is the first time that Green River has been used in any Barrel King offerings, and we got the Green River barrels in at Barrel King after my last visit. This is my very first experience with anything Barrel King and Green River related as they're connected. I haven't tried any of the barrels from Green River yet, so this is my very first experience with anything that we have at Barrel King that we can work with. So as we continue to source new whiskeys at Barrel King, things are becoming more and more interesting. We can veer off in different directions, make things way more unique, play with a little bit of that, play with a little bit of this, and I'm super pumped to start blending with these Green River barrels. This, I feel like, is an awesome idea because it's our introduction to Green River distillate at Barrel King, so why not throw an all Green River batch out to our gold members to see kind of like a component of what we'll be working with in the future. These barrels, I believe, are a little bit more earthy and a little bit more Jared speed. And if you love Jared blends, you know that Jared loves earthy funkiness, and he really brings out the fun in those type of barrels. Batch 118 on the nose. When Jared said he wanted to blend something earthy, I see where he was headed with this. Yeah, it's vegetal. It is earthy and funky. This nose is completely different than any other Barrel King offering I'm familiar with. Nothing we've produced in the last 2 years smells like this. This is super cool. There's like a red leaf lettuce, some beetroot, a little bit of rhubarb. It smells like a tremendously fresh garden salad. Then a raspberry olive oil type dressing. It's also sweet in its own right, but not sweet like candy sweet. I bet you guys didn't even know I knew anything about vegetables. But life's a garden, baby, dig it. This could go sweet in a direction of like maybe a melon peel. Like if you were to cut off some muskmelon or some cantaloupe peel. Like if you were to, what do you call that? Watermelon rind? The rind? Is it the rind of a, it's not a skin, the bark, the friggin' outside. Damn it, it's not a peel, it's a friggin', what do you call it? Who would know?
Fred Minnick. I'm away from my phone right now. Please leave your name and number. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Cheers.
Hey Fred, Matt Porter. This was going to be a complete waste of your time, but I was shooting a video and I couldn't think of what the outside of a melon was called. It's not a peel, it's not a shell, it's not a... I couldn't think of the name, and I thought who better to call than my bestie Fred. So disregard this phone call. I love you. Hopefully you're doing well. Take care. Damn. Whoa. Whoa. That is so wild. There are some earthy undertones there, and it's big and bold in a completely different area than we've tasted with Barrel King before. This whiskey is a lot of low notes and a lot of mid-tones. It's like working in an area of the palate and on the tongue that is not necessarily explored a ton in bourbon. I would consider this more spicy than sweet, but it's also not super spicy. It's like bold, a little malty, and maybe some slight tobacco notes in there. Now going back to the nose, and it's giving me a cigar vibe. Like all of those earthy notes after tasting it, I go back to it, and it smells like an unlit cigar. Smelling it at first, you pick up on a lot of separate things, but then after tasting it and having all of those flavors kind of come together on the palate, going back to the nose, they're more combined into this almost cigar-like smell. This is the most fun straight bourbon that I have smelled and tasted and tried to pick apart and understand in a really, really long time. I've done a Green River pick in the past, and the 3 different profiles that I got on those weren't anything close to this. From what I know about the Green River profile, this is completely off profile. I get a ton of candy, caramel, apple on a lot of the Green River products. This is like the other side of that coin. It's completely opposite. It's just wildly good in a completely different way. Batch 118 I think is awesome because it's introducing Green River distillate to Barrel King. It's also offering a completely different flavor profile to the Barrel King line. What it's not doing is sacrificing any quality. This is a tremendously awesome bourbon, but something you'd never expect to come out of a Barrel King bottle. The second sip, it's starting to get a little bit sweeter. The second sip, the sweetness started peeking through. A lot of those earthy vegetal notes are starting to like flower. They're starting to blossom in your mouth in the most awesome of ways. Third and final sip, 118. It's like you're drinking a really thick, viscous, expensive tea. And at first, I thought that it was more of an unsweetened tea, but then there's like a slow drip of honey being added to it little by little. Drip, drip, little bits just being introduced. Every sip, it seems to get a little bit sweeter and a little bit sweeter and a little bit sweeter. All jokes aside about the batch name, all goofiness aside from my dumb ass, 118 is the most interesting straight bourbon that I have tried in a very long time. So often when I taste bourbons, my brain goes into this immediate sweet spiral of what does this remind me of? Is it a candy or a baked good? Is it table sugar, burnt sugar, brown sugar? What type of fruits are we talking about? Fresh fruit, stewed fruit, cooked fruit. My brain immediately gets shifted into sweets when I try bourbon. This batch 118 kind of shook me a little bit. It reinvigorated my love for what bourbons can be, not because it's an experimental mash bill, not because it's finished in some strange finishing barrels, not because it's super, super old, but because the way that this batch was blended, the barrels used, and the way that it all came together with one mash bill from one rick house at one Kentucky distillery made me really, really think about what in the hell I was tasting for the first time in a long time. It brought me back to the days when I would look at a whiskey flavor wheel to really kind of figure out what I was tasting. What category does it belong in? Then the super special, more difficult pours are the ones where you look at a whiskey flavor wheel, but when you look at it, you still can't quite pinpoint exactly what you want to say about it. This whiskey is very detailed. There's a lot of nuance to it. If you're someone who likes to dissect a pour and really put some thought into what you're tasting, batch 118 is like a whiskey nerd's whiskey. Although I had nothing to do with these 2 blends, they make me feel so special. They make me feel so lucky to be a part of the Barrel King family because these are 2 very brave batches. Batch 117, the Basic Witches, I don't know if that's ever been done before, and doing something that's never been done before is very risky. But the execution of 117 and the way it came together in the final product Holy shit. And then batch 118. Nothing safe about it whatsoever. It's a brand new distillate for Barrel King Gold members. We haven't had this stuff before. Also quite a bit risky, but the risks that were taken in October with these two batches are going to pay off tremendously because both batches are fantastic. If you're a gold member, you're gonna love them. If you're not a gold member, I'd suggest signing up to see what these basic witches be brewing. I was gonna try to make this video short and sweet, but I couldn't do it because I just blabbed on for an hour about how much I love and how much I love Barrel King and how much I love all of you. Thank you all so much for watching again. Hit the thumbs up, please. Subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. Become a Barrel King Gold member. Tell them Matt sent you. And if you're headed to the St. Louis Bourbon Fest this weekend, I'll see you there.